Okay, just a fair warning. This is the weirdest review that I ever made, and don't worry, I will make a proper one in a day or two. And once you see the review, you will know why. Because I will call it the mental breakdown version. I tried to get this review done, and I am not sure what happened, but a lot of things went horribly wrong. So don't see this as the typical review or the typical video that you will see here in the future if you may be new to the channel. But it was so weird, and I never had such an odd breakdown. I just had to release this. So, boom, let's get into it. Sorry, I can't. And what I mean is I just can't seriously review this device today. I'm not sure if it's my mood today, if it's a slightly boring, not bad, but boring phone. So I'm not quite sure how I will be able to pull through this because I did so many takes, and the longer I get through the review, I think, no one will really bother because this phone sits in a little bit of an odd position. Priced around €140, it's not quite super affordable, but it's not quite a good mid-ranger. So let's quickly get through it. In terms of design, it doesn't feel bad. Yes, the plastic here creaks a little bit. There is a little bit of give, and we still have from the Samsung's old past plastic back. Doesn't feel though super bad. We have dual SIM, we have SD cards, so it is fine. Don't get me wrong, I have a little bit of a hard time to get excited about this phone for a few different reasons, and that's why I really don't want to waste too much time on the design. It is okay, and it resembles, as you can see here, the S7 a lot. It looks and feels like a little bit of a cheaper one, but the design is actually quite nice because it feels quite good here with the cut-off sides and the round curves. One-hand usability is nice, the power button is placed okay, feels actually quite okay. It's a little bit high on top, but okay. The volume rocker here, of course, the basic stuff like the speaker is placed a little bit oddly, the LED, the camera, the volume rocker, micro USB. So everything is pretty typical. There is no notification LED. The bezel isn't super small, but for this price, it gets the job done. It's okay, it's solid. We still have the home button that clicks. So I should really complain, and I won't. But I just can't get excited about this design anymore. The display is actually not bad because it's a 720p 5-inch AMOLED display, great blacks. The overall picture seems a little bit brighter than my S7, which is quite nice to see because it looks just a little bit more appealing. The colors definitely are still oversaturated, but you can use the basic mode and get rid of that if you want to. The viewing angles are absolutely solid. Maximum brightness was fine. The white is actually quite good calibrated, not that warm. So it's not a bad display, it's sharp enough. For this price range, you actually get more than I would have expected. But maybe I've used too many high-res screens in the past or recently that I just don't quite feel this phone. And maybe also the sound is a reason for that, because if we check that, if I get it right, and if it will start, finally. I think that's enough. Position is not good because it's on the top, so it doesn't really reflect. It's not loud at all. It's a little bit on the weaker side, and it just sounds boring. It gets the job done for the basic tasks, and I don't want to sound like an ass here, but this is definitely one of the weaker speakers, even for this price range. Now, about the performance. We are using the Spectrum SoC or CPU I've never heard of before, so I have no idea. But the performance, yeah, okay, let's see one thing. I don't really have any apps preloaded, so let's just check the app loading times, okay? As you can see here, okay, this now is the rendering, but you can see that as well. And I will launch a few different apps, just so you can see. Okay, let's kill Instagram once again. Let's start Phoenix. As you can see, the app loading times aren't crazy fast, but it's okay. For a phone of this price range, it is still acceptable, as we can see here. So that is good. But once you load a few more apps, the 1.5 gigabytes will be noticeable because then the device will feel sluggish. Once the app is fully loaded and once you're in, the performance is actually quite okay because there wasn't a lot of lag and it is actually quite smooth. As you can see here, this is fine. So I was actually kind of already impressed that it's not that laggy, and once in an app, the experience was fine. You can use it absolutely okay. As you can see here, the loading times are a little bit more on the sluggish side. But if you can get past that, and if you are in the app, the experience is actually fine. Of course, 2 GB of RAM and maybe a faster RAM would have made a difference here. But the experience, especially for example here in the browser, is fine. So it's a totally capable phone. It's nothing to brag about. It's nothing super crazy smooth. It's nothing super crazy fast. But it is a solid low-end, mid-range, or whatever you would like to call it. Gaming is something that I won't show off here because it wasn't good. Frame rates weren't really satisfying. You could play with it, but it was just lower than 25-30 frames and not good. Heating test was done fine. Can't really check the values. Okay, I can actually. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now about the battery. Oh man, this review is so odd, but yeah, I don't really care. I don't know why today. Battery life. Full charge took about 2 hours and 35, which is okay. The battery isn't that big, so it's definitely not a super fast charge. The battery life itself was actually quite okay. I could expect from something around, in mixed use, 4.5 to 5 hours. Not that bad. I had one day that was a little bit weaker with 4 hours, and I had one that was a little bit better with about 5 hours, so expect 4.5. Brightness was set to 40%, which was fine. Drain on mobile data was actually quite good, better than my 7 and in line with the better phones these days already. Wi-Fi was also quite good. You could reach, I guess, something close to 6 hours, and the drain, as you can see here, is actually totally fine and one of the better ones, at least if I... Yep, it is. Am I really uploading this today? I think I will. Okay, let's get to the software. And yes, that's already it. I won't get into it because it's Samsung TouchWiz, and I'm Breaking Bad. It's TouchWiz. What do you expect? It is the same as on all the other phones. You can check pretty much every review that you want to. Yeah, and you won't get. Oh man. Should I call this the mental breakdown review? Okay, camera. Selfies, actually not that bad. Yeah. Beauty mode was turned on. It still looked like my face, so it didn't work. But it was actually quite sharp, quite okay. The beauty mode itself did make a little bit of an odd appearance, so I would definitely turn that off. But I won't make a fuss about that like some other people. Low light pictures were really bad. The performance was not that great, very dark, very grainy, very blurry, and the overall experience got way worse. Once you get outside, actually the pictures are quite okay. Not bad. You can get some nice pictures if you have a really steady hand. If you move, you will get a lot of blurry photos, but then the pictures turn out quite okay. And the same actually goes for the video. It's just 720p, but it's quite smooth transition in terms of exposure. Maybe not amazing, but gets the job done. The autofocus on closer objects had a little bit of an issue, and the autofocus itself was a little bit of a one pump autofocus, but actually quite okay. So I can't really complain too much about it. For this price, the camera is solid. It's okay. So the only thing not okay is my head today. I'm crazy. So let's get into the final conclusion. Why have I such an odd opinion about this phone? The reason is, if you want a really cheap phone, get something for 100 and you will get a similar experience. But if you want actually something with a noticeable better experience, just pay like 200, get something like the Honor 5C, and you will get overall a lot better specs. So it's either priced a little bit too high or just doesn't offer enough, because you also don't have any basic amount of sensors. You don't have pretty much only one. No gyroscope, no light sensor, no nothing. There is an outdoor mode, but yeah, that's it. And I will seriously release this review, and I will get a lot of dislikes, and I shouldn't release it, but I will. So once again, this phone is not bad, but it's not good. Bye.